Hey everybody, Don, AE5DW here. I wanted to show you the install of the Icom IC-7000 on my 2000 model Jeep. It's a pretty neat little install. It's a great radio. I use the little Tar Heel 2 antenna and a Comet VHF UHF dual band antenna. Do 100 watts, no amplifier in this thing. It's a pretty basic install, one like you'd see on a lot of vehicles, and I'll show you how easy it is to do something like this. So let's do a little walk around, shall we? Alright, first thing you see is, of course, the call sign. You gotta have your call sign back here so whoever's following you knows who you are. And just your basic little red Jeep. Beautiful day here in South Mississippi, so we've got the lid off the top today. We'll whip around and I'll show you the antennas. Over here is the little Tar Heel 2. This is 6 meters through 80 meters, and I believe we're in the 40 meter area right now. And it works very, very well. Very, very well. The mounts are from a company called Arizona Rocky Road. We'll get in a little tight here where you can see. These things are incredibly strong. That joint is, that right angle is welded, and they are bolted into the frame of the body. I used star washers and knocked some of the black powder coat off to make sure I had a good ground, because ground is everything with HF. And a very, very, very good, strong mount, and you can see how easy the wires are to bring into the cab of the Jeep. That's one good thing about this, having the soft doors on there. Very, very easy to get into the Jeep. So we'll walk around to the other side here, and I'll show you the Comet Antenna, which is a CA2X4SR. The SR stands for Search and Rescue. This thing is very broad-banded, so if you need to go out of band for, say, Civil Air Patrol or anything else, this will do it for you. It is very, very broad-banded, very durable. I've had several of these antennas. I run another one on my Volkswagen, and it works really, really well. Again, there's the same mount on that side. You can see the mounting bolts and mounting screws a little bit better over here because not all the wires in there. And again, very, very easy to bring into the vehicle. And you're not going to do much if you can't get power into the vehicle. The Jeep is very easy. Here you see the battery. And you'll see that I've brought the power wire into the junction box right here. Works really, really well here. Instead of going directly to the battery, I prefer to do that. You have to deal with corrosion issues. So again, back to the ground. Grounding point right here. Very, very good. And it's not the cleanest install. Of course, it's not the cleanest of vehicles, but if you follow the power cord over here, you'll see it comes into a really big grommet right here on the firewall. If you can't find a big grommet in the middle of the firewall, there's usually a rubber boot right around the steering column, and I find that you can take a straightened out coat hanger and poke through there and tape your wire on and bring the wire through that way. It works very, very well. That's what I did on my Volkswagen Passat and on several other vehicles that I've done, but that's a really handy place to do it. But this one has a nice big oval grommet right in the middle of the firewall, so that's how I brought power in. Alright, we're going to go inside the thing now and show you the office, so to speak. We've brought the Jeep into the shade a little bit for a little bit better video quality. You can see we're under the overhang here, so that might affect HF reception just a little bit, but shouldn't be too bad. There's the control head of the 7000 right in the center stack of the dashboard. You see the AC and the stereo right below that, and a little farther down, the shifters for the transmission and transfer case. Right in the center of the dashboard over here, the passenger side, and over here, of course, the controls. And it works really, really well right there. Right there is the microphone. I've used 3M double-sided trim adhesive, trim tape that you would take and, say, put an emblem on the outside of your car with. That's what that's for, and it works really, really well hanging right there. It didn't leave a hole. Down here, the MFJ clear tone speaker, because you got to have that because the Jeep is a high noise environment. Now, about mounting the control head, I put an accessory here from a company called Daystar. They make these trays to go over the molded tray that's in the dashboard that isn't very deep, and you gain some utility there with that tray. But what I like about it is the front edge right here. This nice elevated front edge made the perfect place to put the mounting bracket for the control head of the 7000. I used screws and that double-stick, double-sided 3M trim adhesive tape. You can get it at any auto parts store. It works really, really well. And it's very sturdy. It's not going anywhere. And works really, really well. Brought the wires in right here. You can see that whole piece from end to end lifts off on the Jeep. It's very easy, and I'll show you that in just a sec. Very easy to bring the wires in. Here you see the little thin antenna coax coming in. for the VHF, UHF, and on the same side, same thing over here on this side, you see the HF and the control cables coming in right there. Speaking of control, I'm using a turbo tuner on this, which I have right in here. This is the turbo tuner for the 7000. Plugs right into the back of the radio, and the controller cable plugs right into that, and it works really, really well. One-touch tuning, which beats the jacking up and down with a rocker switch, which you can do that. I've done that several times. The radio has a real nice SWR meter on it, so it makes it easy to tune manually. Let's turn this thing on, because the beauty of this radio is watching it fire up. So let's hit the power button and watch the fun. Never get tired of that. So here we are on 40. And one thing about this radio is you have a choice. You can select the brake right over here, which you can flip this down, and you have a really freewheeling tuning thing, or you can adjust the brake to be a lot stiffer. But what I like is, in a mobile, detents. It makes it really, really handy to tune. You just count the detents. You can do the same thing with the up and down arrows over here on this, but that works really, really well. So now let's look at the microphone. The microphone has all the controls you need right here on the front of it. So let's go to 20 meters. Now we're on 20. Turn this up a little bit. And I'll hit the tune button, which of course is right there on the front of the radio, but also on the microphone. So we'll hit the tuner button here. Hold it down. Radio goes into FM, 10 watts, and there you can see on the bottom the SWR display. And we'll watch the antenna come down. You can see the antenna coming down, of course getting shorter for the higher frequencies. And the turbo tuner watches the SWR, so we'll watch the SWR, you'll see it dip, and then the antenna will jack up and down until it finds a sweet spot. There it is. So we've got a contest going apparently.
November Juliet to Bravo. Aboard the USS Wisconsin, QRZ.
Here we have the special event station apparently.
Picayune, November 4, Whiskey, India, Sierra, into WIS.
I'm not going to try to contact them because I really need to have the engine running to get the full 13.5 volts to the radio to make it work really, really well. So I'm not going to try to contact them. Plus, I'm under this overhang, and it may or may not work, and I don't have the keys out here with me right now. So, but anyway, now back to running these wires. Like I said, I think I told you that this whole thing pops right off, and it's very easy to get under here to lay those wires down, and I will show you how to do that right now. Okay, here we are. I just take a little screwdriver, pop it right here in this edge, and easy as that, up it comes, and this whole thing just literally lifts right off. And there you have, you can see the area where the cables are run in there. Easy as that. And also, this trim piece here, where the air conditioner stack and the stereo are, that pops off really, really easy as well. 2 or 3 screws and the whole thing comes right off. So this is a really, really easy vehicle to work on. Jeep really did their homework on that and made it very easy to work on. And running HF in this thing is just an absolute dream. So there you go. So there you have it, an Icom 7000 and a 2000 Jeep. It's a pretty slick radio and a pretty easy install, and I hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed doing it and working the radio. So bye from South Mississippi at E5DW 73.